From the moment we as children pull ourselves upright to see the world at majestic new heights for the very first time, we've longed to journey towards the new, the unknown, the unconquered. Yet only a chosen few risk pressing against the edges of the human condition. As gentle paths forward harden to a steely focused voyage, many contenders disembark at lesser ports of call, leaving only the very few of exceptional aptitude and athleticism to thrust themselves forward for one final mile. There comes a time in every runner's life when a decision must be made to heed caution or release oneself into an uncompromising gale of possibility. The runner must wrestle with faint memories of pain and failure while avoiding the siren call of an easier life, a life without suffering. It is the lingering tonic of labored breath and booze that leaves a hint of what's possible pressed deep into the folds of a runner's memory. For every race is a dance floor still covered in dreams jettisoned from the night prior to make room for the potential of today. And that, party people, that is why we leave it all on the track. Literally all of it. It is the North Star that pulls us through the dark night. It is the beacon of glory, the Kingston Cup, the Queen's Cup. Along the Oval Odyssey, we will always remember the final lap, search ourselves to recall the fourth beer, and forever cherish the safari of suds that is the beer mile. From around the world and beamed through the interwebs, Run Local presents the 2020 Beer Mile World Classic. Welcome all you beautiful, sexy people to the 2020 Beer Mile World Classic Virtual Edition. I'm Josh Muxon and I'm wishing you all a happy 4th of July direct from the United States of America. Today it is my absolute honor to bring you some of the world's most versatile athletes competing not only for their share of $8,000 US, but more importantly, the chance to be named the 2020 Beer Mile World Classic Champion. And along with individual titles, the team competition will pit the best beer milers from across 13 nations in search for a chance to raise the Kingston and Queen's Cup. This brings us to the all-important question, what exactly is a beer mile? And for that, we bring in our studio analyst, Travis Price.
Thank you, Josh. Wonderfully poetic opening. The beer mile's simple. The runner's tasked with running 1 mile. That's 4 laps for a total of 1,609 meters. But before every lap, the runners must drink their beer within the chug zone. 4 laps, 4 beers. And it can't just be any beer. It must be 12 fluid ounces or 355 milliliters and over 5% alcohol. Josh, that means no seals or no Coronitas. And you have to keep it all down before the finish. You boot, that's a penalty lap. Last but not least, runners must have less than 4 fluid ounces for an average of 1 ounce per bottle or can remaining in their bottles at the end of the race. Anything more than that leads to a disqualification. Those are the Kingston rules. But the beer mile is so much more than the rules. It's heart, it's love, it's running and drinking. Josh, it's the beer mile.
You got that right, Travis. It is the beer mile, and we appreciate that pint of knowledge. We'll look to you for more insight once we turn our attention to the track. First, however, let's set the scene for today for our viewers. Typically, the World Classic is a live event that has been held in the United States, Canada, the UK, and Germany. Originally launched in 2015 on San Francisco's Treasure Island, a packed crowd watched the beer mile of the century with Australia's Josh Harris, Canada's Lewis Kent, and America's James the Beast Nielsen vying for the inaugural title. Now, if you're a student of the sport, you'll know that Kent ran away with the race. Nielsen was helplessly disqualified for not finishing his swill, and Harris suffered the most famous reversal in beer mile history, the chunder from down under. Also in the inaugural event, Caitlin Batten led an American sweep of the women's podium and thus built the foundation of what is now a global superpower. In 2020, thanks to the virtual nature of the event, we received thousands of entries for this year's World Classic, typically arriving as mediocre phone recordings.
You ready? You getting this? Get him.
Beer milers from around the world send in their user-generated content, hoping to be included in today's show. We watch, We verified and we sorted all the videos to bring to you our top 6 women and top 6 men as entries in today's Beer Mile World Classic.
And Josh, don't forget about the highly contested team competition. Since 2015, teams from around the world have adorned their nation's colors to honor this ridiculous competition. It's scored cross-country style, meaning that the lowest overall team score wins. For example, first place gets 1 point, fourth place gets 4 points. This is where legends are made. Team and individual champions are immortalized in the Kingston and Queen's Cup.
TP, as you and I both know, beer miling brings out both the thrill of victory as well as the agony of defeat. And thank goodness for that. Let's take a look at some efforts to qualify that came up just a bit short of today's final competition. These guys sound less like beer milers and more like mating harbor seals. That's the face you should make when drinking a Corona. Delivering some street pizza. Terrible running, wonderful throat missiles. Worst warm-up routine ever. While those athletes ran into the cruel teaching side of the sport, let's learn how to get the most out of your liver and lungs from the men's world record holder from Canada, Corey Bellamore, who's torched the track in 4 minutes and 34 seconds, a time no one has come within 12 seconds of.
Alright, so as I come into the chug zone, I'm focusing on trying to lower my breath, keep it a little more controlled. I take a deep breath right before I grab the bottle, pop the top. I always carry my opener, so pop the top quick, get right into a walk. The chug, basically you want to focus on getting it up at 90 degrees, and as you walk, you're going to keep tilting until you're just at the finish line, start-finish line. At that point, you're going to try and tilt it all the way up just to make sure that end foam is all out of the bottle, out of the neck. That's pretty much it.
Corey does make slamming down that liquid courage look as smooth, clean, and pure as an ice flow meandering the edges of Lake Nipigon in early spring. Great tips from the Canadian record holder. Now let's get to the action on the track to see if any of our top women have any tactics of their own which might reset the record books. This is the introduction of the first of 2 main events, the women's competition and battle for the Queen's Cup. TP, as you look across the list of competitors in today's field, who stands out for you?
Well, the big story is Allison Grace Morgan. She's been chasing Elizabeth Herndon's world record of 6:17.9. In fact, she's been chasing that record for several years now and had a legitimate shot at it in 2017, but booted in the chug zone, leading to that sad penalty lap, aka the jug of shame.
Well, we'll certainly keep an eye on Morgan. And now let's meet our competitors and find out what sweet, delicious angel's nectar they will be consuming during today's event.
Hi, my name is Allison Morgan and I run for Team USA, and I'll be drinking Bud Light Platinum, which is my beer of choice for the beer mile.
My name is Hanna Hugesson and I'm from Sweden, and today I'll be drinking this one, El Boca Negra.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth LASETER. I live in Austin, Texas, and today I'll be drinking Bud Light Platinum.
Hi, my name's Genesee Adams. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and my beer of choice is Molson Canadian.
I'm Laura Riches. I'm from Manchester in the United Kingdom, and today I'll be drinking Brooklyn Lager. It is 355 millilitres and 5.2%.
My name's Katie Anderson. I'm from Toronto, Canada. For my beer mile today, I'll be drinking Amsterdam Blonde. Let's go.
And now, it's time to go to the start line for the Women's Championship event. As you can see, the athletes are making their final bottle preparations, confirming and concocting strategy with their socially distanced support staff, and readying their minds for the pain cave they are about to enter. A reminder that athletes start with a beer within the chug zone, run a full lap, and consume the next beer back in the chug zone. Any remaining fluid in the bottles will be measured at the conclusion of the event with any amount over 4 ounces, resulting in disqualification. Athletes are in their place. The gun is up. And they're off. Look at that. Excellent effort right out the gate by Morgan, Riches, and LASETER. Down in that bug juice, and out on the gate is Morgan gently sets down Grandpa's medicine as she heads out onto her first lap. She's trailing Riches and LASETER early on. Travis, first beer, first impressions. Let's go to you.
Well, this is LASETER's first World Beer Mile Classic, so let's just see how that fast start goes for her. But keep an eye on Laura Riches. She was, in 2016, went out way too fast, had a disastrous result. 2017, she was under world record pace, but unfortunately had to do the penalty lap due to the fact that she puked. 2018, she won, but she was disqualified on measurement. And 2019, she was injured. So let's see if she can put down all 4 beers and keep it down the entire race this time.
Well, that first chug zone split from Allie Grace Morgan, 9.9 seconds. Elizabeth LASETER, 16.4 seconds, but it does appear that she did get out very quickly. And newcomer, Shannon Adams from Australia, 11.4 seconds on that first split. As they're coming back in, we see a quick shot at Anderson as we move back to LASETER with Morgan, Adams, Riches all in picture right now, joining LASETER. Some jogger off to the side with Adams. We know that she is one of the first Australian athletes to tackle this event as Riches enters the chug zone with Morgan close behind as they tackle that second beverage right there. As they down that glass sandwich, what we're going to take a look at is whether Morgan or Riches gets out. And, oh my goodness, Morgan is gone. She ran 1:20.6 for that first running leg, 13.2 seconds on the second chug. Travis, is looking great for Morgan right now. And LASETER is also out and tearing up the track. Wow, what did you think about that second chug by Morgan?
Wow, that was that's form at its best. That's pretty legendary right there. We'll see how this translates later in the race because that could make a big difference as she tries to chase down this world record. And
Travis, I hate to interrupt you here, but we got some coverage down there on the bottom right with Adams. She's a little bit of an unknown. You got any information on her as well?
Well, she's Australia's first woman to participate in this event, and Australia, believe it or not, has never made a podium finish. So let's see if this is something that happens for the Aussies this time.
All right, a lot of show no go from the Australians. Let's see if they can put it together for this event as we enter into the home stretch. This comes up on beer number, I believe this is beer number 3 for Morgan. Let's see how she can tackle this one. We're going to be looking at that second lap as well for her as she is well out in front, slowing down to grab that third beverage. That second lap, 1:21.4, as she dives into that liquid courage to see whether or not she can scrounge up something more, something possible. Great exchange from her. She's out and running. Riches looking to just pull herself together. Come on, girl. As she resettles herself, hold it down. Now we take a quick look at that third chug by Morgan. It is 13.9 seconds. Now, if you are looking at the world record splits, one thing to note here is that Morgan has been consistently chugging about 10 seconds faster per beer than Liz Herndon's world record, yet running about 10 seconds slower per lap. So it is neck and neck, and it will come down potentially, Travis, to the chug.
Yeah, she's been chasing that world record for a while. Battled a few injuries. She had a little bit of bad luck in London where she had that reversal of fortune, had to repeat it. And she was running on tough conditions in Berlin last year. So putting together a really, really solid race. It's amazing the difference how much a chug can make between running a fast lap and having a fast chug. We'll see how this plays out here at the end.
Yeah, this is coming up. This is the moneymaker lap right here. You all know that that third lap is make or break. If you've ever run a mile or ever thought about running a mile or ever seen a mile, click over in your odometer. The third lap, the third 400 is really the one that makes or breaks it. That was 1:25.0 for Morgan on that lap, yet slower than Herndon's third lap. Oh, there she is. There's a little love tap to the throat to get that beer down. There she's coaxing it. Now she's off and on her way fourth split. 15.4. She has a shot. Herndon's world record fourth chug was 21 seconds, .4. Oh, we go back to Riches up at the top, and she is looking just to pull herself into a state of, I don't know, possibility for getting through this final lap, as LASETER is out and running very, very well, and turning down to the bottom right, just now behind the shed, is Adams. Adams from Australia doing some work on the backstretch here. Travis, this is going to come down to it's got to be, by my calculations, under 118 for Morgan to get the world record. Do you think she can do it?
It's going to be really, really close, Josh. It's going to be really close. Don't forget, we still have the measure to do at the end, because we've had we've had champions before, and then they got disqualified.
That's right. As we see LASETER's parents out there cheering her on or heckling her, it doesn't matter in the beer mile. You just give some love, and hopefully you don't get anything on you. Now Morgan's coming through on that final stretch. It is going to be awful close. There it is. We'll take a quick peek of the watch. Travis, final lap, 117.1 overall time, 6 minutes, 16 seconds, .5. We have an unofficial world record.
Wow, what a great race. That was a heck of an effort. Amazing right there.
And LASETER coming through unofficially 6:42 as they pour out Morgan's beers to see if she's under the 4-ounce rule right here. There it is, taking a quick peek right there. And it does. It looks right there at 4 ounces. We have indeed an official 616.5. Oh my goodness, what a great effort by Allison Grace Morgan to reset the gold standard. As Anderson comes through, doing a great job there. We see Adams beers being poured out, and Hugoson from Sweden just crossing the line. What a phenomenal race out there. Travis, your first thoughts, your first takeaway from that event?
Wow, that was amazing. Allison Grace with a big PR that set the new world record. That is a big jump in terms of personal best right there. Great effort.
That was absolutely incredible. Allie Grace Morgan exercised her demons, but not her beverages, and snags a huge win, resetting the gold standard of the event in a world record time. Travis, give us some of that Madden Magic marker analysis.
Let's quickly break down how Allison Grace Morgan goes through her beer in the chug zone. As you can see, she comes to a full stop, which is a little bit unorthodox, and also grabs that beer with 2 hands. You can see she uses a glove to protect those hands as well, because you don't want to tear it when you open those bottles. Look at the nice clean angle on that as it pours down. Although you can see her eyes are quite bulging, it's almost as if that beer's going to come right out her eye sockets, and then she hands it off to the holder, and she continues on through her next lap.
Thanks, TP. You know what? You are indeed a troubled artist. In addition to the world record, Allie Grace Morgan has led the U.S. women to another dominant victory in the team competition to capture the Queen's Cup. For more in-depth analysis from the champ herself, the one and only Travis Price caught up with Allie after the race.
All right, thanks, Josh. I am here with this year's 2020 Beer Mile World Classic champion, Allison Grace Morgan. Now, you had been chasing Elizabeth Hendren's world record of 617.9 for a couple years, and you had a near miss in London.
Right.
You did have the unfortunate reversal of fortune, which led to the dreaded penalty lap there. But did you start to feel, because that you've been chasing this for a while, did you ever start to feel that record might be out of reach for you, or were you fully confident? How did you feel about chasing this record down?
I felt more confident this year. I was able to get in some really good track workouts. There was nothing else to do. And my chugging was improving. I was just getting better at changing my technique, not tensing up so much in my neck, and just not being so worried about time. That I think when I just relaxed and I got better at practicing, it just came together.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Congratulations on a new world record, 2-time world champion. Yeah, thank you very much. Back to you, Josh.
Allie joins a long list of legends in this sport. One of those legends, Jim Finlayson, is the Canadian godfather of the beer mile. TP is with him now to talk about a great cause associated with today's event.
All right, everybody. I'm here with Jim Finlayson, Canadian beer mile legend and world record in the beer 2-mile event, here to tell us about a special event, Chug for Good, which benefits the MS Society. Jim, could you tell us more about the event?
Yeah, thanks, Travis. The event is designed to raise some money for the MS Society. The past few months have been pretty hard in terms of raising money for the society, and so we wanted to promote them and have a bit of an offshoot from the Beer Mile event.
Wow, it sounds like quite an exciting event. We'll look forward to seeing more about this. Thank you for your time, Jim.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Cheers.
That Jim is such a legend. And like Jim said, the Chug for Good doesn't have to be about beer. You can chug water, a highball of buttermilk, can of pop, pint of salsa. Honestly, we don't care. Whatever you can get your hands on. The key is raising money and awareness for the MS Society. So start planning your chug, and we'll be back with our men's final right after a word from some of our sponsors. Welcome back. We're about to move on to the second of our main events, and it should be a good one as the men take the stage to mash some malt over the mile. Let's set the scene and slide right into our race preview. TP, as our resident expert in the booth, who looks good on paper to you?
Well, it's going to be an interesting year. Some of the top athletes are out. We're missing some perennial all-stars, including Corey Belmore, who's out with an injury. But this opens up the field. I gotta say, I like Chris Robertson, former champion and last year's runner-up. And I know we have some new faces in the field as well, but let's also not forget Marcus Lindwig from Sweden, who can do the triple chug. That's 3 beers in his mouth at the same time and can put it all down. I also expect the Aussie Josh Harris to put his head over the footy as well.
Well, I gotta admit, I don't know any of those names, but you made me a believer that something special could be in the air tonight. Let's see what the men are drinking during their term in the Oval Office.
What's up, everybody? My name is Andrew Binkowski. I'm from Nashville, Michigan, USA.
Hi, I'm Chris Robertson. I'm from Chicago in the US, and today I'll be drinking Blue Moon.
Hi, my name is Josh Harris. I'm from Launceston down in Australia, and today I'll be drinking Molson Canadian, 355ml, 5%.
Marcus leaving for Sweden. We have a Vodka Negra, Pilsner, 5%, 355 milliliters.
Hey, my name is Phil Paramigas. I'm from London, Ontario, Canada, and I'll be drinking Amsterdam Blonde.
Nick Finch here, representing Australia. Beautiful Perth. Gorgeous. Drinking 355ml, 5% Molson Canadians today.
Those intros are littered with accents from all corners of this beautiful planet. Love to see the Beer Mile bringing nations together. Now let's get to the start line with the fellas as they try to convince themselves this is a good idea. And the gun is up. And there they are, grabbing that first beer, and we are underway in the 2020 Beer Mile World Classic as Robertson pounds that beer, slams it down like it's nobody's business. Just a little pint of bug juice for him. He's out and underway in a chug, a first chug of 5.0 seconds flat. And Lewin is out there as well, 5.6 seconds for the first chug, and they're underway. Travis, what a great first beer, and Binkowski ripping across that backstretch out there already.
Yeah, no, Binkowski with that manly mud flap. Let's see how he does in his first one. But what's interesting is this is a little bit of a diluted field per se, because some of our perennial favorites like Corey Belmore's out with an injury. We're also missing Dale Clutterbuck and former American record holders Garrett Cullen and Brandon Shirk. So let's just see how if this opens up opportunities for other people in this field to perform well and potentially take home a world title.
And we see Robertson tearing around the corner, a quick shot of Phil Paramigas, and then somewhere in Australia, who the hell knows where, Josh Harris was out there running somewhere on some concrete. As Binkowski comes up to his second beer right alongside of Robertson. First lap split for Robertson, 1:04, 64 seconds flat. Marcus Lewin running 61.8 for his first lap. That's absolutely astounding considering how terrible he looks when he's running. Travis, after that second beer comes through, it seems that Finchy, the newcomer, splitting that second chug of 7.0 seconds. Not as fast as Robertson's 5.7 seconds beer, but we all know it's a combination of beer, it's a combination of running. That's what makes the beer mile. What do you have in terms of insight for us?
Well, keep a look on or keep an eye on Marcus. They have a bit of an advantage, the Swedes, because, well, they're historically known for finishing their beer, but they didn't quite last year, which led to a disqualification on the team side. But they also do participate in a beer mile the night before the actual beer mile. And since this format allowed for everyone to do multiple runs, this could have a factor in his legs today. Let's see how this works out for him as part of his race strategy.
It may answer the age-old question, is more beer better for your running or less beer better for your running? We'll find out very shortly as Robertson grabs beer number 3 after a 64.3 second lap. And Benkovsky, with that glorious mullet, he must be drinking malt regardless of what he's told us in the past. He's pounding down beer number 3, and Phil Paramigos briefly on the screen, just a little showcase of what it's like to shuffle with 3 beers in your belly underway. Turn our attention to Josh Harris, still stuck somewhere in Australia, somewhere, who knows, but back to the action on hand. Robertson tearing around for that third lap. Let's see how he does as Finchy is back onto the backstretch somewhere. Who knows with that foul camera work where he is, but we do know that his buddy's been pouring out the suds to make sure he is under 4 ounces at the conclusion of the event.
Well, let's not forget about Finch's fabulous mustache. It's the kind of mustache that he had last year that says, "Yeah, I've been naked on film. What of it?"
Now, there you go. Regardless of what Finch is sporting on his upper lip, that soup strainer of his won't help him in the beer mile, but it will help him on the dance floor. Robertson throwing down his final beer. That looks to be a 64.3 second third lap. He's actually got a shot at the world record, Travis. That was a 6.4 second chug for him. Lewin right behind him, shuffling his way off the line, like trying to get a disgruntled toddler out the door. There he is, though. Robertson running away from this thing. He's going to have to run sub 60 to get the world record, but he's honestly got a shot.
Yeah, he was only 2 seconds off of Corey Belmore's world record after that third beer. This is going to be super tight. Let's see if he can pull it off. We've got a chance at a world record, if not anything, an American record.
There we go. As Finchy's out there on the backstretch as well. He's looking for Australian fame. Robertson coming around that final turn. He's got to dig deep. He does have a shot at that world record. Can he pull it together in the race of his life? Robertson on his way through the line, dipping through. Oh, and he just misses the world record. He's going to have to settle for an outstanding American record of 4 minutes, 38.7 seconds. We're going to check his beer, but what a great run by Robertson. Absolutely outstanding. As Lewin also comes through in sub 5. Benkovsky and Finch right there as well, and Harris making some turn somewhere in a parking lot, claiming it's going to be a mile, rips through and finishes his race as well. There's Finchy's time flashed up by his buddy in the hoodie. 5 minutes, 0.6 seconds, just missing, becoming a new member of the Sub 5 Club. And as we take a quick peek at Benkovsky, wow, that mullet flowing in the breeze brought him as an airfoil to 5:03. 5:03, a great run by him as well. However, it's got to be said, Chris Robertson stealing the show today. TP, your thoughts?
That was absolutely impressive. Everybody put together tremendous races today. To have this many people under that 5-minute threshold is truly monumental and absolutely bananas.
Honestly, TP, that was bonkers. Robertson scores a win in the second fastest time ever recorded, setting the American record in the process. Lewin was also impressive in the silver medal position and posting a Swedish record, moving up to number 6 all-time in the world. And Nikki Finch from Down Under scared the 5-minute barrier, but even that impressive posting was like bringing a knife to a gunfight against Robertson.
Josh, that was amazing. I want to show everyone the dynamics of that last beer. You see, this is how you set the American record. You believe in the beer. See here? Boom! That's 100% belief in this Colorado Rocky Blue, Cold Blue Moon. Congrats, young man. You are now number 2 all-time and number 1 in the hearts of Americans.
TP, you're clearly 1 beer away from cutting off your own ear. Not to mention, it looks like you've managed to harness the power of technology to catch up with the new American record holder. Let's go to him now.
All right, thanks, Josh. We are here with Chris Robertson, this year's 2020 World Beer Mile Classic champion. Tell us about some of the techniques that you have when you're coming into the chug zone after a hot lap.
Yeah, for my last, say 10 to 20 meters before getting to the beer, I just try to take a few last deep breaths and slow my breathing rate a little bit. And then right as I'm about to start chugging the beer, I'll take in a big inhale. And then that way, my lungs are full of oxygen, my muscles have some oxygen. And once I start chugging, I'm able to hold my breath for those 6 seconds, 7 seconds then, and make it through without gasping for air. So yeah, just taking those last few deep breaths in right before starting the beer is enough to get through the chug.
Awesome. All right. Thank you very much, Chris. Back to you, Josh.
Congratulations, Mr. Robertson. A fantastic win, and now you're $500 richer. Look, for our Canadian friends, that's roughly 2,700 Timbits. Following that slap around of the American record by Robertson, the U.S. men did exactly what you do on the 4th of July. Just win, baby. USA claiming top spot, followed by Canada. Sweden, with that tremendous run by Lewin, gets the 3rd spot, and Norway coming in 4th, and they weren't even on the screen. Well, TP, that wraps up our broadcast for today. And I have to be honest with you, seeing those athletes blast those barley sodas and rip through a mile has me absolutely fired up. Lots of highlights for the 2020 edition of the Beer Mile World Classic. My personal favorite is clearly Allison Grace Morgan finally becoming 1 with the women's world record after years of longing. Like 2 crazy kids at a middle school dance stepping away from their respective walls to come together in perfect harmony as the sweet symphony of November Rain by Guns N' Roses lures them into a locked embrace. Ah, the beauty of the perfect moment. TP, I know you've got some highlights of your own. Tell me about your standout moment for the event.
Well, you know what? I tell you, I love the team competition aspect of this. The fact that the Australians almost pulled it off this year. Nick Finch having a great race, almost breaking the 5-minute barrier. He and Josh had a good head-to-head duel for the Aussies, coming up with a really quality team score. It was amazing to watch.
As we ride off into the sunset, a thank you to all of our sponsors who forced us into this glorious hot mess. Let'sRun.com, where your dreams become reality. Run Local, where you can get all your Beer Mile and Beer Mile World Classic apparel at runlocalshop.com. The MS Society is the official charity of the Beer Mile World Classic. To learn more about Chug for Good, check out their website. For Travis Price, I'm Josh Mugson, and that is going to do it for us in 2020. We hope you enjoyed this year's Beer Mile World Classic. And if you didn't, honestly, we don't care. We hope to be back in 2021 with our live event. Until then, keep running, keep drinking, and wear the damn mask. What, are we finally done with this thing? What a train wreck.